Hey everybody, welcome to another update of the Adirondack Valley Central. As always, we start with this section of the layout. As you can see here, by this mountain range here, we have the rocks have been done, completed. The next step is going to be coloring them, as well as the foam itself. Here's another angle of the rock cut and the river scene and the small waterfall. That's going to be here on the side over there. Again, it's going to be all painted. That's the next step. And these trees to the left are just there temporarily to see how everything's going to look, how it's going to fit. And eventually will be detailed, those trees, with fall foliage. And last night I decided to change this whole section up a little bit. I didn't like the way the little rocks were going with the foam. And I want to add more. I like to add a lot more trees, since Adirondacks is very, very filled with trees. I decided to add just a little bit of height here, just to give the trees some different heights and variations. And again, it's going to be, this is just a backdrop for rocks, so it'll be painted the colors of the rocks around the Adirondacks, and I'm going to have all the fall trees. I like to add as much trees as I can as possible on the small space that I have, so I decided to go with this kind of plan. To have trees on top of here, higher, lower, you know, just a variation of sizes. They could look a lot better than just having everything full of rock. Okay, so here's the newest addition and the biggest project on the entire lab was making these mountains / tunnels. As you can see here, there's a lot of rock, and there's certain sections in the Adirondacks that I'm modeling after. If I can remember the name now, I really can't, but I'll try to post it in the info of the YouTube channel itself. There's a lot of sections that have rock, but also I'm going to have a bunch of bushes and foliage all over in between the rocks, so it's not going to be just a full big tunnel of stone, because it really isn't. And so just give some variations of different textures for the rocks and foliage to blend them well, which I'll do eventually. Again, this is ready to be colored. It's all finished. On top, we'll probably have maybe a hobo camp, and not the hobo camp, probably a tower of some sort, so it won't be totally flat up there. And yeah, just ready for painted. The tunnel portals is made out of the rock molds. I think the next step is going to try to round them a little bit more if I can. I kind of like the square look a little bit. I'm going to try to round them up a little bit to make it a little more realistic. Other than that, I think they came out pretty good. Okay, here's the major project, was again doing the tunnel to the mountains, but also paving the way for the waterfall scene in the river and with the trestle. This took a long time and a lot of stress. not crazy stress, just just a lot of work, very tedious work. I also have a how-to video on how I did my mountain, so if you want to check that out, it's on my Southern Treatment YouTube channel. Also, if you want to look up progress on these, I have my Adirondack Valley Central Facebook page, so you can look that up as well. It's actually, I enjoyed it. It's some stress, it gives some stress here and there, but it's just to get the stuff on here, trying to finish it by a certain time. I'm sick and tired of looking at stuff being white. But yeah, this is based off a waterfall up in upstate New York, and I'm trying to replicate that scene. It didn't have a trestle going through it, but I'm managing it. It's just a vignette of the Adirondacks. So this thing's ready for coloring. May touch up a couple of rocks, as you probably can see. Once I finish that up, then I'll start the pigment colors, and then work on way to the pillars of the trestle, and then coloring and the waterfall. Another thing I've done was painting the tunnel portals black inside. Looks like to give them more depth, so it doesn't look like. Plus, I don't want to look like it's pink inside. It's not really that realistic. But I did both tunnels the same way, regular black paint on the foam, give it a couple of coats, and that's it. As you see, for this section of the layout for Joanne, there's not much that has happened as far as progress. That's just my supply and tool area for now. I should be gaining some buildings in the next couple of weeks, and I'm going to start placing those once I finish the colorings of all the rocks and foam. And I'm going to start doing that scenery work. And the buildings are the easiest part of the whole thing. It's just placing them. But if you can see with the river scene, I had an MDF board in place. That was the new thing. I just added that last night. It was just a lot easier, more sturdy to work with. But I've came to a conclusion that it's also great for roads and for passage of platforms. It's a lot thinner than a regular some of the wood, balsa wood products and stuff. And I think it's a 2x4 sheet for like $5 on Home Depot. So you could gain a lot of space with and save your wallet a little bit with that. And I find it was a lot more cheaper than balsa wood what I used on the old layout. So I'm gonna start probably using that. It's a lot thinner to work with. It's more flexible. It won't crack like balsa wood would, and and I like foam and stuff, but I think this is a lot more sturdy. It gets more. It's also flexible, so you can work with it. And so, for instance, you can see here with the wood. The MDF board. It fits really well in the rails, as you can see. It's good for the trucks. Doesn't ride up. And I had a problem on my old layout where the boards were too high inside the gauge, and the pickup rollers would jump and the train would stall. So I decided that this wood is a lot thinner. The MDF board, it's not wood. I keep saying wood, it's not wood. It's more cardboard or not masonite. It's a lot thinner than masonite in my opinion. More flexible than masonite. And it just, to me, it's going to work a lot better than the other stuff I used on the old layout. Okay, so we're going to do with the future goals as I normally do with the layout. Hopefully by the next update, the entire layout is colored. So no more pink, no more white. I'm going to hopefully start putting trees on the layout. I'm start making trees here. I got a lot of materials, and all this material is free. It's all natural. All the rocks, everything you see here, all these rocks. Here's my ballast. All these rocks here, I found a small pile of gravel pit that they finished using for a construction site, and I just gathered a bunch of rock, sifted it, and I have all different kinds of sizes. I'm going to use stuff for ballast, stuff for the mountains itself, for the rivers, and stuff for gravel roads. So I have all different kinds of sizes here. Organized some of the foliage, the coarse foliage. Got a bottle of pigment there. I'm still waiting for a couple more to come in. And here's my roots and big tree branches. I also have a couple of supplies underneath. There's a nice video on a gentleman who does a great job with his trees and uses, and I'm sure it's an old trade, an old trick, but uses regular wood, like wood poles and air filters, and you make the trees out of that. I decided to use regular tree branches because it's already brown. I don't have to paint it, and it's realistic because it's the real thing. Also looked at a couple other videos. I'll give credit to these guys. These guys are great. Another guy used tree roots and stuff, and so I decided to try that technique, and it didn't come out too bad. These are tree branches. These are regular twigs off of tree branches, real trees, and I added tree roots and roots from weeds, which I spread on, and I used the coarse foliage, and I just fined it up a little bit, and I tinted it with some brown paint, and it didn't come out too bad. I'm gonna try to fine turf next time from Scenic Express, which I have, but they're back in New York, so I'm waiting to get all that stuff, and hopefully in the next couple of weeks that I can start doing that that kind of work. But yeah, these are the trees that I've been working on, and all the ground cover and everything. I have everything in New York, so everything has to come here. I'd like to thank everybody for watching my update video. I have a great time working on this layout. It's been a long time since I've really posted stuff on my Facebook page or YouTube as far as layout concerned. Just a lot of stuff's going on. Been very busy with work. When you're a touring musician, you know, I'm never home that often. So when I'm home, I like to work on this, and especially now with Thanksgiving, Christmas around the corner, it's a lot more fun to me to work on it because I started Old Gauge during Christmas time, and to me, it's just it's a lot easier to work on this stuff with, you know, good music and just a nice time of year to do it. Plus, this when the hobby started was around this time of year. I'd like to thank everybody on, you know, Facebook page, Adirondack Valley Central, who's on there. You know, for liking my views, being patient with me, and I'm hoping to post more videos and pictures as I can of the progress. And I'll like to thank everybody on the Facebook pages, the Old Scale Tips and Old Scale pages. On Facebook, they're great. They're great inspirations on there. I made a lot of great friends. You know, and it's just a good time, and I hope everybody out there has fun in their layouts. And I wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Eat as much as you can. Take care, guys. Have a great week.